Wait, once I made sure I'm recording, I should be recording now. Okay, hello and welcome back to TenkoBerry Does Book Reading. Hopefully you are all doing okay today and staying safe. And in today's episode we're reading the book Journey's End. Now we are reading a full book. Well, it's not series, it's reading through a longer book. But I decided to just read this book as I have just gotten it today, and I decided, you know what, that'd be a nice short, well, relatively quite short book. And I thought, you know what, that'd be quite nice to read. So that brings us to opening the front page. But the book that we're going to be reading today is Journey's End. R.C. Sherriff is the person who wrote it. And it's by Heinemann, Inspiring Generations. And the back reads, Journey's End. Well, Heinemann plays Journey's End by R.C. Sherriff. You could have heard a pin drop in the quiet, yet you knew thousands of guns were hidden there, all ready, cleaned and oiled, millions of bullets lying in pouches, thousands of Germans waiting and sinking. Now, this book is based on the First World War, if you're unfamiliar with the First World War. I tell you, I am surprised at how much, knowledge is, never learned, I tell you. Like, a lot of people just say, oh, am I learning that I learned back in like the 80s, 60s, and 90s is perfectly still usable. Though a lot of that was just censored, it was Cold War, you didn't want any communism spread, and you didn't want any, sorts of like, civil rights and other, different stuff, brewing. You wanted to keep it nice and clean. But now there's a lot more freedom with books like these and, other books. So, let us read the rest of this bit here on the back. Stanhope is hailed by his men as one of the best company captains in the army, but after 3 years on the front line, he is nervous and exhausted as Stanhope and his officers sit in their dugout awaiting attack. The full horror and futility of trench warfare in the First World War unfolds. This edition contains notes and activities to enhance your understanding and enjoyment of the play, successfully adapted into film. Now, if you wanted, you can go check out the Journey's End movie. Very nice book. Now, this book was now, this is, some stuff that I've noticed on the inside. So, I've just opened the front page and there's a green slip. Obviously, it's for the play. But it says, Of Mice and Men, Scene Summaries. You know what? I might actually read this now, before we actually delve into the book, I tell you. But the person who booked this out was Honor Rowan, who wrote their name on the inside. I don't know if it's Honor Rowan or is it Rowan Honor. Is that their name? Alright, so I'll put the book down a second and we'll read Of Mice and Men, Scene Summaries. Okay, we actually have little cards. Scene 1, The Calm Before the Storm. Pink, George, and Lenny spend the night by a pool. So I said pond. Before going to start at the ranch. Green, George is annoyed at Lenny for getting into trouble in weed. Into trouble in weed. Weedy. I don't understand that. It's kind of spelled a little bit weird there. It's weed dot and then. Oh, it's because of the Y coming down in a cursive. Ah, okay. So it's actually just in weed. Don't know how you get in trouble in weed. Is the town called Weed or something? Or were they just carrying weed and then never roll it, that way? Lenny persuades George to talk about their dream farm. Ah, Lenny's like the lover or something. George and Lenny arrive at the ranch late, which angers the boss. This is scene 2, introductions. Candy explains what the ranch is like. George and Lenny meet all the characters. Curly tries to pick a fight with Lenny. Curly's wife flirts with the workers and catches Lenny's attention. I guess no, Lenny and George are not together. I tell you, I love finding these little bits of, stuff like, this was someone's work. Actually, I think I missed a page. No. I read that page, okay. Sorry, it slops over into the corner and it's really well made for being like, cue cards of what they're reading. Dreams and a dead dog. Scene 3. George chat with Slim and we learn. Sorry, it looked like M at the end there. No, it's a R that forms into an N. Cursive writing I'm not the best with. Learn more about George and Lenny's background and what's happened in Weed. Oh, the town's called Weed, yeah. Candy's dog is shot. Candy overhears George and Lenny talking about their dream. He asks to join in. Curly starts a fight with Lenny, and Lenny crushes Curly's hand. Scene 4, the dream is spoiled. Lenny goes into Crook's room. After a while, Crooks lets him stay. Candy joins them, and they talk about the dream. Curly's wife comes in and spoils it. Candy tries to stand up to her, but she undermines their hopes and dreams. George returns from the town and is annoyed for talking to people about the dream. Are these people slaves? Not sure. Scene 5, a dead girl and a dead dream. Lenny accidentally kills a puppy in the back. So 2 dogs are dead within 2 days. That is disgusting, I tell you. Accidentally kills a puppy in the barn. Curly's wife and Lenny talk about their dreams. They both like soft things. Lenny strokes her hair too hard. Curly's wife gets angry. Lenny panics and breaks her neck. Lenny runs back to the pool. The other men decide to hunt him down. Is Lenny a bad guy? Chapter 6, George kills Lenny. Lenny has visions about his aunt, Clara, and a giant rabbit lurking him about his faults. George finds Lenny and calms him down by telling him about the dream. George kills Lenny. That is the craziest piece of paper. You can actually hear the paper. It's proper paper. So it looks like Honor Rowan was actually interested in theatre. Now let's actually get into the book. We're at 8 minutes already and we're not even in the book properly. We read the front, we read the back, but we have not entered the book. Journey's End by R.C. Sherriff. We've already read that bit. That's the open page. It's Heinemann's is in print of Pearson Education Limited, company incorporated in England, Wales, having its registered office at Edinburgh Gate, Harlow, Essex. There's a registered company number 872828. Don't think that works now. Heinemann registered trademark, play copyright 1929, Sheriff. Maureen 1993, introduction, questions, notes and glossaries. Was published in 1929. Published in Heinemann Plays Series 1993. Okay. In this edition of Journey's Hope, you will find notes, questions and activities to help in study and play in class. GCSE. Now this is not like a proper book, this is a play book. It was in the normal books area, but I wanted to read through it. Introduction provides information on the author and historical background to play. being events which led up to the First World War. It also gives details of literature by other officers, same theme, written at the same period, the impact of the play's first performance. The activities at the end of the book range from straightforward keeping track questions which can be tackled at the end of each act to focus close attention on what is happening, through more detailed work on characters, themes, escalation. Really some stuff that we do not really need. Introductions. R.C. Sherriff, born 1896, died 1975. During World War I, R.C. Sherriff was an officer in the East Surrey Regiment. He was wounded in the Battle of Passchendaele in 1917. His play Journey's End is based upon his real-life experience during the battle and the war, mirroring the way he and his comrades lived and fought and reliving some of its incidents, although he wrote several other plays, some novels and several film scripts. It is for Journey's End that he is best remembered. About the First World War, when Britain declared war on Germany in August 1914, the mood in Britain was heroic optimism. It's like they decided, oh, Britain's the one that decided to start the World War One. They even give like a proper beginning there. It's just when Britain declared war on Germany, it was confidently believed that the war would be fought between quick-moving armies and that it would be all over by Christmas. Millions of young men responded to the government's call to enlist in the army. However, far from being a war movement, World War I lasted for 4 bitter years. By Christmas 1914, millions of men were dug into trenches in France on either side, no man's land. Thousands of men on both sides died in these trenches in World War I. Background: in 1914, Europe was dominated by 2 power blocs: Germany, Austria, Italy in the Triple Alliance, and Britain, France, Russia in the Triple Entente. Both sides had been arming, and to many, war seemed inevitable. Whatever the reason, the event which sparked the war was the assassination of heir to the Austrian throne, Archduke Ferdinand. That is not right. It was the guy who died afterwards that really, caught people's attentions. France, Duke Ferdinand was just glossed over. It's a stupid, real fact there. Franz Ferdinand in Bosnia, his assassination was a Serbian. Serbian. Austria declared war on Serbia. Russia then mobilized in armies to support Serbia, Germany. Supporting Austria, and then declared war on Russia and France. The thing is, Germany didn't think Austria was going to declare war on thingy, but then it happened, and then they had to join in. Then declared war on Russia and France. Germany then sent an army over 1 million strong into Belgium in order to get to France. Until the invasion of Belgium, there was a chance that Britain might stay out of the war. Now there was none. Britain was bound by a treaty to help Belgium. On 4th of August 1914, Britain declared war on Germany. At first it seemed that the Allied resistance could do more than delay the advance of the huge German army. By 4th of September, Germany was in sight of Paris. Germany did not take Paris, however, and in the Battle of Marne, the German advance was stopped. Both sides then raced to the coast and began to dig trenches to protect their positions from any attacks. By the end of 1914, these trenches stretched from the Channel coast in Belgium to the mountains in Switzerland. This band of trenches became known as the Western Front. For a period of 4 years, casualties were enormous as both sides tried to push the enemy back. Huge numbers of troops Sorry, my monitor went off there. Huge numbers of troops on both sides were poured into the area in an effort to make the all-important breakthrough. The consequences were tragic. Hundreds of thousands of men died, and very little territory was gained on either side. Yeah, it could be like a mile. The price of a mile, I tell you. Hundreds of thousands of lives. Just for a few bits of dirt. Terrible, I tell you. As Journey's End shows, conditions in the trench were horrific. Men ate and slept in mud, and the company rats with the constant fear of death from a sniper bullet or from heavy bombardment. Journey's End is set in 1918, when the German army was preparing a massive assault against the Allies. Once again, it is against this threatening backdrop that the play opens. The First World War literature. The anniversary year of the armistice, the agreement to the end of the war, 1928, produced a flood of memoirs, and reminiscence. The 10 years since the end of the war had distanced many of its participants and allowed them to distill and digest its horrors and lessons. In 1918, there had been a period of optimism when there was talk of having won a war to end all war. By 1928, people were disillusioned. Peace seemed unlikely to be permanent, and they were ready to face the truth about war. At about this time appeared Edmund Blunden's Undertones of War, Robert Graves' Goodbye to All That, Frederick Mannon's Her Privates, We Remarque, All Quiet on the Western Front, Sanson's Memoirs, I can never say that word. Memoirs of a Infantry Officer, and R.C.'s Journey's End. All of these works retell the war experience from a distance of 10 years. The portrayal of the war is therefore complicated by a prism of memory. None of these works can be measured against the truth of history books, whatever that is, because they are works of art, fictional constructs, rather than documentaries. The images of war vary from book to book, perhaps as a result of the kind of life the author had led in the intervening 10 years or so. In Journey's End, R.C. Sherriff presents a realistic picture of life in the trenches as he had known it, and portrayal of the horrors of war. Journey's End has all the ingredients to make it very successful, a handful of clearly delineated characters, some humor, some reminiscence, a flawed hero, a agonizing death scene, and a shattering climax. Although the jargon is now dated, the dialogue is easily understood, and the message about sacrifice and comradeship is clear. It is and we still have so much. There's over 100 pages of this book, I tell you. I don't think we can read the whole book, but you know, we can get through the introduction, I tell you, before my throat decides to give up for this so far. Certainly a very moving play, but the death of young Rayleigh in his first week at the front line, in the arms of a friend whom he had hero worshipped as a schoolboy. The company commander, Stanhope, is a leader from an English public school. who had played cricket and rugger brilliantly, and is now a great inspiration to his men. At the front, Stanhope's drinking clearly dramatises the stresses of war. It may also carry a suggestion of a flaw in the ethos of the officer class who led the British Army, as well as the obvious relationship and source of conflict between Stanhope and Rayleigh. Stanhope also has a close relationship with Osborne, the uncle figure in the play. It seems inevitable that Osborne is the richest character culturally, and Rayleigh, the boy with everything to live for, should be doomed. Their deaths emphasize a point made often in World War I letters, home, and in diaries. The irony of death. Sometimes a man survives luckily for years, while others seem fated to die immediately. The whole problem of cowardice and desertion during the war is glanced at in the journey's end. Although not thoroughly, this play was not the place. Herbert's cowardice is dealt with by Stanhope, who offers his own weakness as a parallel. You won't say anything, Stanhope, about this? You promise not to tell anyone what a blasted FUNK I am? Well, a little laugh, no? Splendid. Now go and have 10 minutes rest and a smoke. Then we'll go up together and hold each other's hands and jump every time a rat squeaks. The play also emphasizes the class differences between the officer class and the other ranks. Mason, the soldier cook, is a source of most of the humour. We do not laugh at Mason, but rather with him, because he is clever and shrewd enough to make the best of an impossible situation. But it is still clear that Mason is a servant, that is, it is his job to stay awake and wake the officers so that they may go on watch. It seems odd to us now that the officers then thought of themselves as different kinds of human beings from the men when discussing the raid with Osborne. Rayleigh says, just you and me, isn't it, and 10 men. The fact that Rayleigh eats with the men after the raid could suggest that this way of looking at society is being subtly challenged in Journey's End. Stanhope's fury after he finds that Rayleigh has been feeding with the men is a complex reaction to Rayleigh's being there at all, especially since Stanhope has his drinking vice to hide. Rayleigh is clearly the novice. He is innocent and ignorant. Does he not answer back, and is so keen to be a good officer and soldier that his death seems inevitable? To the audience watching the play either in 1929 or today, 2024. I'm saying 2024, adding it on, because that's what the year is now. Well, for when I'm recording this. Really, it has atomies the young men who died in their hundreds of thousands in the Great War. The play in performance, Journey's End, was performed in a single Sunday evening performance by the Incorporated Stage Society in December 1928 with a 21-year-old Lawrence Oliver as Stanhope. It had previously been rejected by most of the theatre managers in London. Sorry, just moving the green play card. Alright. On the grounds that the public did not want to hear about the war, or that a play about women wouldn't be popular. After its first performance, it was produced as a Savoy theatre where it ran for 2 years. R.C. Sherriff was suddenly famous. The play was translated into every European language and performed all over the world. Okay, I don't know if these are written text from the person who, on her own. You know what, with the pen style? Yeah, it's them. On her own wrote in this book, So, Stanhope, commanding the infantry company. Osborne, Trotter, Herbert, Raylan, officers of the company. The colonel, the company sergeant major, SM. Mason, the officer's cook. Hardy, a officer of another regiment. A young German soldier. 2 private soldiers of the company. And then I'll read the text once we get there. Journey's End was produced by Incorporated Stage Society, not Sarge. I was glancing over it there, that's why I said Sarge. At the Apollo Theatre, London, on the 9th of December, not September, December 1928, with the following cast. Now, before I say that, little notes have been left all over the pages, this one being the text I've just read, 9th of December 1928. World War I, very recent, hard to watch. That's what's written in this book. Now, this book came out in the 90s, I'm pretty sure. Let's see, when did I say it was released? I have to suck in for it, I'll tell you, because it's between my keyboard and my stomach. Alright, 1993 that this was published. It only had been 80 years since, World War One. I guess recent, but not that recent. Alright. So, the cast is Stanhope, Lawrence Oliver, Osborne, George Zuko, Trotter, Melville, Cooper, Herbert, Robert Spite, Speaghd, Rayleigh, Morrance Evans, the Colonel, H.G. Stoker, the Company Sergeant, Major, Percy Walsh, Mason, Alexander Field, Hardy, David Horn, and German soldier Geoffrey Wincott. Play produced by James Whale. Subsequently, the play was presented by Morris Brown at the Savoy Theatre on the 21st of January 1929. The scene / setting was added by, we'll just call him Rowan. A dugout in the British trenches before St. Quentin, a few rough steps into the trench above. Through a low doorway, a table occupies a good space of the dugouts, a floor. A wooden frame covered with wire netting stands against the left wall and serves the double purpose of a bed and a seat for the table. A wooden bench against the back wall makes another seat, and 2 boxes serve for the other side. Another wire-covered bed is fixed in the right corner beyond the doorway. Gloomy tunnels lead out of the dugout to the left and right. Except for the table, beds and seats, there is no furniture save the bottles holding the candles and a few tattered magazine pictures pinned to the wall of girls in flimsy costumes. Alright, so the setting at the right of this, there's a big, highlighter mark. There was highlighter on the 9th of December 1928, as I said before. But the highlight area has a text that goes, Very basic. Oh, okay. Sorry, I saw I had something open in the background there. Very basic. I meant, you know, like Minecraft music in the background because I put that on to stop my monitor from going off. Very basic, but try to be normally sense of darkness. Gloomy theme of play show how serious the play is. And then the bit afterwards, after Slumsy costumes. The earth walls deaden, the sounds of war making them faint and far away. Although the front line is only 50 yards ahead, the flames of the candles that burn day and night are steady in the still damp air, serious and somber, they said. Act 1, evening on Monday, the 18th of March, 1918, a few days before my birthday. Act 2, Scene 1, Tuesday morning. Scene 2, Tuesday afternoon. Act 3, Scene 1, Wednesday afternoon. Scene 2, Wednesday night. Scene 3, Thursday towards dawn. And then it starts to get into the book here with Act 1. And there is like super a lot of notes in here, like, you know, more sympathetic, organised bureaucrat, very close with Stanhope, complete faith, unusual, with a very close with Stanhope bit there. Okay, there's more. I keep finding pages that actually have the highlighter on it. Fazerly and Cairn. It really is just full of this highlighter and, you know, the person who wrote in it all that time ago. Come scenes light and mood. Like, it looks like they stopped using the black pen and the pink highlighter, but they still use the pink highlighter sometimes. And there's like purple writing now, but they've also just changed to blue writing. And multiple different highlighters, pink and green now. Oh wait, and blue. And, you know, we got blue text there. There is one black text at the bottom. It looks like, you know, multiple people are just using different, you know, pens. Definitely different pens. They went through this like a truck on fire going through a hay bale. Humanizing Germans. Criticizing government, all victims, terrible situation. Random, futile, iteration, absurd. Climax makes audience curious. I started a letter when I came off duty last night. Short sentence, practical, professional. It's like they've done a study on this entire book. Dark humour. At the end of the 45th circle, I'm going to draw a picture of Trotter being blown up in 4 pieces. Class snobbery. I suppose all of his life Trotter feels like you and I do when we're drowsily drunk. Sees odds burn as a dead body, and then beyond that. And you struggle to get back. Lost reality, confused no perspective. And they also bent some of the corners of the pages on purpose to kind of mark where these pages were. It is really crazy, I tell you. I could possibly show a page, I think, but it's just, it really is crazy. If I put it like that, and I take a picture, wait 1 second. I was planning on reading through this book, but with how many notes there are, it'd probably take me twice as long to read through it than it would usually do for a book like this. You know what, I'll just put it up here. Hope I accidentally knocked a note out. I just took a photo. I guess I did not take a photo. I'll give you a tiny bit of text, I tell you, of what I'm seeing, I tell you. I'll send that to the Discord. Pictures. Alright. You know what, I quite enjoyed reading this book. We basically got the entire rundown of the book, I tell you, reading the introduction area anyway. So it kind of just spoiled, you know, what was going to be happening. But whoever, you know, had this before was definitely a theatre major. Because, you know, the way that they write and all that was definitely, you know, a theatre person. Definitely a theatre person. But let me see if I can bring up the thing for you. Wait 1 second. New source. There you go. Now you get a bit of an idea of what I was going through. Like this is only a tiny bit of a note area. This is like the least amount of notes that I've seen since that first page of the notes starting. There's like so many of these notes just scattered all around this book, I tell you. And it's like, you know, full on theatre, you know, stuff. I really do enjoy the book. I will probably read it, you know, full, you know, right to the end. At some point, I tell you. Or make a part 2 to this in the future. Oh wait, that's my water bottle bag. Wrong bag. Yes, I have a water bottle bag. I have that many water bottles. Need to go clean through all of them, I tell you. Alright. So, let me put that in there. I have a bag that I put my books I've read through in. And it seems to be going quite well so far. I'm actually thinking about reading manga books at some point on the channel, I tell you. Just reading through them, you know, you can listen to them and all that. I think that'd be quite nice, actually. I think that'd be quite nice indeed. Alright. So, I think that's where we got to end this off. So, have a nice day. Hope it's all. With some rushes, because the vitamins are very important. And bye-bye. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.